The first appearance of Doug Ramsey, of all people, is heating up thanks to his transformation into Revelation in the recent Age of Apocalypse one-shot.
Wally Wood draws Doom, Jack Kirby tackles Kazar, and Marvel kicks off the Bronze Age with a bang. And yes, you can still grab it for under $30.
And a self-published oddity that swam its way from Comico, Apple Press, Marvel, and CBS Animation, we dive into the wild publishing saga of the Fish Police. Oh yeah, all that and a lot more on a new Bronze and Modern Gods. What other podcast is handling Fish Police, huh? Breaking police news. Everybody, wow, who's excited for convention season? Richard, you excited?
Oh, I'm excited for you because I know how big of a deal SCCC is just in general for the community, and you get to go. So
yeah, I have been kind of, blase da, people who watch Drag Race get that reference about it. But now that it's here, I'm actually kind of excited, and I'm kind of cranked up and ready to go. And then not even a week later, see you guys at Neo Comic-Con in Northeast Ohio, August 3rd, Sunday, August 3rd.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
And then after that, I think I have Long Beach Comic-Con the end of August. Still debating that one. The last time I went, it was a bit of a bust, frankly. But, I like to give conventions a chance here and there. But, were you going to say something? What do you got?
No, there was a convention in Detroit that I almost decided to go to. It's a 3-hour drive. Mm-hmm. Decided to pass on it since I'm going to be going to Neo Comic-Con instead. But this is the season for conventions.
Who would you have taken? Would you have gone by yourself and taken the car and put the top down? And
yeah, most likely. Yeah, that's how I went. They have a convention out there that happens a couple times a year, Motor City, the Motor City show. And every time I plan on going there, something happens. But yeah, it's the same thing. It's about a 3-hour drive to get to that, but it sounds like a good show. Eventually I'll get a chance to go.
Thunderstorms. Hey, it's the hot book of the week. Richard, I saw this and I don't know, I reflexively rolled my eyes. I shouldn't do that. But it is New Mutants number 13.
Yeah. First appearance of Doug Ramsey, later becomes Cypher.
And now we both were reading this book at the time when it was coming out, and he is single-handedly the lamest mutant ever created, correct?
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
You don't remember? He is a master of all languages.
That's right. Yeah, he comes into play later on. Cypher is pretty important in the Krakoa stuff, but at this point, not such a big deal.
This is trending because of last week's Age of Revelation one-shot that features Doug as Revelation, the heir of Apocalypse. He's not even on the cover. Look, it's poor Kitty Pryde getting hazed by the New Mutants because she's an X-Man.
Mm-hmm. X-baby.
Yeah, but she calls them X-babies. Yeah. But New Mutants 13, dollar bin fodder all day long, but now high-grade raw copies are selling for about $10 on eBay.
Yes, save your money, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I can't see anybody getting excited by a character that got killed on Bird Boy's Island, which, by the way, happened. That was a thing that actually happened in funny books. What do you say we go to show and tell? What do you say? I have nothing to say about that book, so we'll just come over here.
Next.
Right, exactly. After weeks of no theme, I have a theme. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tarzan.
Oh, okay.
What does Tarzan mean in 2025?
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, is he even relevant anymore? I see the Edgar Rice Burroughs estate setting up at Comic-Cons. In fact, they're usually at San Diego. They're there. But it's really more about Deja Thoris and John Carter. And, and by the way, here's Tarzan. And what part of Tarzan is in public domain at this point? Anything? It's got to be.
Yeah. It's got to be over 70 years. Yeah.
Yeah. This is Tarzan number 82 from Dell Comics. and that is Gordon Scott as Tarzan. As you can see, yes, very rough and tumble Tarzan. Doesn't look like a suburban high school linebacker at all.
Yeah, that's pretty milquetoast.
Look, I'm in the jungle, and I have a knife.
Or I'm coming through your shrubbery, and I have a knife.
Exactly. It's like, wait, who's this dude that's in my backyard? Can you get out of here? Really cool photo covers, though, from this era of Dell's Tarzan run. And boy, I found a bunch of these. I can't remember how long ago. I believe it was at California Comic Con 25 years ago or so, in the early 2000s. And boy, they were just all super mint. I don't know if they were all file copies or what, but I grabbed them all for like $10 a pop.
What does the interior art?
I believe this is still the Russ Manning era. Russ Manning did a lot of the Dell Tarzans, and they're beautiful. He's really highly regarded as a Tarzan artist, along with other people who we'll get to in my next show and tell when you're finished with yours. What's yours?
Mine is a book that came out this week, Wolverine Revenge.
Oh,
okay. So this is a black and white, but it's interesting black and white. But it came polybagged because it says here on the cover.
Oh, it's a red band.
Raw. Yes, the black and white edition, Jonathan Hickman and Greg Capullo. So this is explicit, apparently. The interior art is black and white, but it's done as like pencils. You know, you've got like Bristol board, and you got the blue pencil, and you know it's really cool looking because it looks like, you know, pre-ink. You know, the artwork is pretty. You know, Greg Capullo does a great job, in my opinion. It's a story of the asteroid M crashes to the Earth. Excuse me, that era, and just before it hits the Earth, Magneto dies, and as he dies, he releases the most powerful EMP that's ever been seen, and it basically vaporized electronics all through the West because it was facing that side of the planet. So United States, Canada, actually crashed. The asteroid M crashed in Canada and killed millions of people. So there's a whole thing with Nick Fury, and they're trying to do things to. I'm not going to give the whole story away, but they're up against the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and the story is pretty graphic. But I don't know if I'm jaded or not. I don't feel it's any more graphic than, I don't know, your average Image comic, or, you know, I definitely don't see it being as DC Comics would definitely not be as graphic, but there's nothing in here I feel really warranted and explicit. But then again, maybe I'm just jaded. Maybe I've seen way too much violence. You know, there's violence in terms of people being killed in some graphic ways, but I've seen it before, you know.
I'm confused because you said that came out last week, but Wolverine Revenge came out last August. And in fact, it's included in the Marvel must-haves that I was talking about a few weeks ago. Issue 1's in here in full.
And Disha says September 2025.
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe they just did that black and white version to get another sip at the well.
But
yeah, there's a trade paperback out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if I would continue reading it in this black and white format. While it is interesting, it's distracting. One of the things that inking gives you is clarity of focus, and you kind of lose that with just the pencils. The pencils are really, really well done, but I think I'd rather read the inked version and a colorized version. So if I do, I'll probably just pick up the collection you were mentioning.
Jamming bombs down the throats of Captain America and Wolverine didn't bring you back for issue 2?
No, according to them, they cut holes in their chests and stuck bombs in them.
Yeah. Oh, okay. They didn't jam it down their throats. That's right.
They didn't jam it down their throat. Let's just say people underestimate, again, Wolverine's healing factor. It's like, come on, people. If you're going to try to kill Wolverine, cut him up into tiny little pieces and spread them into outer space. That's probably your best chance. And even then, it's 50-50.
I like they did open heart surgery on the non-healing property characters like Captain America, and they were all fine and trussed up, tied up, you know, and talking and everything. Yeah, sure, that's what happens when you someone's chest. Having said that, we're really being picky here. I actually kind of enjoyed it, but it wasn't for me, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Tarzan 207, aka the very first DC issue.
Oh, nice.
Tarzan and the Apes by legendary Joe Kubert, considered probably one of the greatest artists of the medium, considered one of the greatest Tarzan artists. Don't care for him. That's me.
Really?
I just never really liked Joe Kubert. I respect it. I get it. Just not my style. Very scratchy. Everything looks like it was drawn with a Sharpie. You know, I don't want to say borderline Don Heck.
Wow. That's not a rousing endorsement from you.
I just do that to troll some of you. I know. Just being a jerk. What is your next show and tell book?
Next one I've shown before, but I'm still celebrating Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it on our live show. I went to see the Superman movie this past week with our friend Evan, and I thought it was really good. So here's an alternate story for Superman Red Sun, where it basically takes the ship that Superman lands on takes 12 extra hours, I believe it was, to land. And so instead of landing in United States, it lands in the Soviet Union. And Superman grows up to be a Soviet citizen as opposed to an American citizen. And so he has a different viewpoint on things and is used by the Soviets as basically a weapon. But it's interesting how Superman always seems to be beholden to the powers that be. And, you know, in this case, it is the Soviet Union. And he fights people, you know, like the Batman version is a bit different than the version that we see in other stories. But this is a collection. This is came out a few years ago, $18. If you're interested in an interesting Superman story that is kind of off the beaten path, this is a really good story.
Superman grows up waiting in line for toilet paper. Tarzan 252. Later in the DC run, now you have Jose Luis Garcia Lopez drawing it. Now we're talking. Okay, yes, much. I mean, okay, hold on. Tell me what you like better, Richard. The legendary Joe Kubert or Jose Luis Garcia Lopez?
Oh, always. His art is amazing. And I have to say, you know, they've been consistent with that trade, the trade dress too, which is the logo for Tarzan. I think that's great.
Yeah, I don't think they used this on the Dell comics though, but it did carry over to Marvel when Marvel took it over. Yeah, theirs was much more plain.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if this was something that was invented by the Burroughs estate, because I believe this was used on the paperbacks too in the 70s with those great Neil Adams and Boris Vallejo covers. Oh, yeah. So awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. There's a little Tarzan show and tell for you. What's your final one?
My last book is, I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I thought it was cool. I like these kinds of covers. Superpowers collection. This is it's done as an action figure. You see there's Robin there as the action figure. And I love the price sticker there in the corner where it's it's $4.99. That's just this. If you grew up in the you know the time period, this is so much like what you would see in a blister pack on the wall in your local Target or Zayre's. But no, like I said, I haven't had a chance to read it yet. On the back, they have, you got to collect them all.
I have one problem. It's bugging me, and you all can make fun of me all you want. The hole punch is not centered.
It is not. I noticed that too.
Okay,
That
good.
it would skew on on the
Yeah.
red. Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't do that, but okay. Yeah, those are cool though. Again, just being picky to be picky. And if you really like us showing, you guys more on this one?
No.
Oh, okay. If you really like us being picky and showing off books like this, you really got to become a member because we do it every Thursday for 90 minutes plus. It's $2.99 a month. You see your name fly by like this. You get to join us and show off your collection too. We're members only show and tell. And you get to help us pay for things like StreamYard and equipment to do this and our time to do this because we're very expensive dates. Richard.
We are.
Yeah.
Just
Just
not easy ones either.
No, you say you're not easy?
No, I'm not.
Speak for yourself. Hit join next to the subscribe button here on YouTube. Or if you're listening on the podcast, you can check it out in the description as we move to viewer mail.
You've got
Richard,
mail.
I can start with viewer mail from someone new, D. John, who writes, love your show. I was wondering why you guys never talk about some of my favorite creators, such as Paul Gulacy, Mike Zeck, or Ed Brubaker. Could almost make an episode themed on each. Have you guys read any of the Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips stuff they have put up in the last decade? Amazing stuff. Thank you, D. John. Yeah, we don't talk about them because we hate them. We don't like them. They're awful.
We've talked about Mike Zeck before.
I'm being very punchy today. Sorry. D. John, we have absolutely talked about Mike Zeck a bit, especially in his Captain America run and Secret Wars for sure. Gulacy, I believe we had a little Gulacy discussion a few months ago talking about, again, Master of Kung Fu, which was Gulacy and Zeck. Mm-hmm. And Brubaker, I got it, wrote one of my favorite Captain America runs of all time with the Winter Soldier and all that. So we, it's not because we are intentionally avoiding these artists and writers. We just don't get to it sometimes, or we just race past it. So you have given us food for thought. Brubaker and Sean Phillips, man, what a team supreme. I agree with you there, D. John, for sure. And that is great stuff that they do together. Richard, what do you got?
My first piece is from Eggplant Comics, and he says, check the price on the original Ultimate Spider-Man #1 white variant cover. That's an expensive book. Yes, we talked about Ultimate Spider-Man #1, the original, and I looked at the book, and here's a copy of what it looks like. It's got a white background to it instead of the background of the A cover, and it is kind of pricey. A 9.8. This one in particular was they're asking $800 for. Now, I actually didn't look at what the actual sale price on these, but there are a number of copies that are around that price. And as a matter of fact, there was a couple of copies where people are asking $5,000 for because it had Stan Lee's signature. Yeah, to take that with a grain of salt. I wouldn't. Stan's signature isn't worth that kind of uptick. But yeah, this is an example of a variant cover having a smaller print run and people deciding that it has a higher value, even though it's no different than the original A cover. But yeah, this is something if you're looking to complete. There's also a Direct Forces?
Dynamic Forces.
Dynamic Forces, thank you. Dynamic Forces, they have a variant cover. And if you want to collect them, I saw someone was selling all three, this cover, the A cover, and the Dynamic Forces for about $1,000. Or so it's up to you how you want to spend your money. I personally would just stick with the A cover.
I don't understand what that red circle with the line through it is supposed to be at the bottom.
I don't either. Is
it supposed to be his mask? Is it guys, chat, help, comments, anyone?
Yeah,
we're old men. Hold our hands, tell us we're okay. From our email at BronzeAndModernGods@gmail.com from Sebastian. Hi guys. I just picked up this early all-new X-Men comic on Heritage Auctions, and here it is, X-Men number 98. When I first saw it, I noticed it was a JSA signature and assumed it would be signed on the front cover. However, I later noticed it is signed on the first page. Didn't realize CGC was doing GSA for signatures inside the book. How do you think this affects the value compared to signatures on the first page? I honestly don't mind that the signature's on the inside page. The truth is, I just wanted to fill that gap in my run, trying from all issues from 94 to 200, and it is one of the last I'm missing. Oh, congrats.
Okay.
Yeah, good roll. Good run. For me, the fact that it has the artist signature inside makes it that much more unique and desirable. By the way, I'm going to be at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Will you guys be on any panels or at any booths? Would not mind stopping by to say hi. Cheers, Sebastian. Sebastian, I'll go backwards. I'm going. Richard's not. I'm not going to be on any panels, but I will be attending a few panels. Basically, anything that Mark Evanier is doing, you can probably spot me in the audience, and please come up and say hi. We'd love to meet you. And yes, JSA is absolutely verifying signatures inside. Lots of Jack Kirby signatures were on the first page. So I've seen lots of those verified by JSA. I think it's cool. I am so old school, Richard. I remember people signing the front of a book was the worst thing you could do. You're going to ruin it. Why would you do that? Please sign the first page.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way. The only signature that I like on the cover is Walt Simonson, because he does that cool little dinosaur, and J. Scott Campbell, because it just looks really good because he does an ink cover that typically matches the cover. I like them in the inside, like Alan Moore's signature on my Miracle Man #1 is on the first page, and that it's still signed by him, but you don't have that scrawl on the cover of the book.
Clayton Crane.
Clayton is interesting because he does that multicolored signature, which I could see that being cool. I don't have any of those currently, but yeah, I think that's just a differentiator for Clayton.
I think the impetus to have people sign the covers now is because they're planning on slabbing the book and they want to be able to look at the signature. So I get it. Just not my jam, especially the Stan Lee smeared variants out there where you know it was basically auto pen. Oh, we won't get into that. Richard, you're next.
If you like signatures, you do you. Absolutely. Yes. Next is from our buddy Julius Maloney. And Julius says, "Dear God in heaven, Twin Peaks season #2, how are we even friends?" And I have to agree with you. I had to do some soul seeking after you told me about that. And I decided, we all have our flaws.
Look, season 2, Wyndham Earl. Once Wyndham Earl gets started, it's awesome. The problem is, it's funny. Wyndham Earl is mentioned in episode 4 of season 2. That early in season 2, they start mentioning Wyndham Earl. It's just they get distracted and do other things, and they don't get to that story soon enough. So you have things like James going off and having an affair. Oh, nail biter there, and dumb things like Nadine thinking she's in high school again. Granted, there's some stupid stuff in season 2, but once season 2 gets through the stupid stuff, it's really good. Sorry.
Now, do you like other David Lynch properties, or
yeah, I'm a Lynchian.
Okay,
they're not all great. I have problems with Dune is a snooze fest. I like the more adventurous stuff. I like Mulholland Drive. I like Eraserhead, of course. I like Inland Empire is an endurance test. Have you ever seen Inland Empire? I think it's 4 hours. Yeah, so there are some things that it's a little indulgent, but Twin Peaks season 2, you guys, the last 3 episodes of season 2, come on. The last episode of season 2, directed by David Lynch, written and directed by David Lynch. I mean, you can't get any purer.
By then, it was probably you as the audience watching that.
Oh, I was in Korea. I was in the army in South Korea. So my mom, God bless her, was videotaping it for me 4 weeks at a time. And then she would send me a videotape with 4 episodes. And we had a whole crew there on base that would gather in our little barracks room from when the tape would come in, because we were all addicted to it. and they kept moving it around the schedule. My mom would like literally have to hunt down when Twin Peaks was on, because at one point they buried it like Saturday nights at 10 o'clock. But yeah, she got them all for me. And I remember I believe the last 2 episodes, they edited it into a 2-hour final movie, and they burned it off during the summer. Ooh. So yeah, like as a special movie event in the dead of summer. So thank you, Mom, for doing that, because that took a lot of work to keep on top of. She didn't miss one. She did not miss one. So
that's what moms are for.
She was freaking out. I remember she called me in Korea. She's like, I can't find Twin Peaks. They took it off. Yeah, because they took it off for a couple months and gave it a little hiatus because the ratings were so bad at that point. Oh, hey, comic books. From our email at BronzeAndModernGods@gmail.com from Theoden. Do you remember Theoden from a couple weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Young man who asked us what he should be reading and buying. Hello again, it's Theoden. Thank you so much for your help. I decided to buy some DC compact novels on Amazon. I got Watchmen, Batman Hush, and Kingdom Come. Richard, you're a happy man?
I am. Great books.
I will be looking for the Legion in my local dollar bins. Dollar bin diving is one of my favorite things in the hobby. I also want to thank you for complimenting my collecting taste. I'm trying to complete my run of Quasar. I just need the last 3 issues, but I won't buy them online because I love the hunt. Great. Theoden, yeah, those last 3 are very tough. The last one's really tough. And so good luck. Thank you so much, guys, Theoden. Theoden, keep hitting those bins. I think the last 5 issues of Quasar are actually pretty scarce. There is a Thanos cover as well in there that makes it even tougher, but superior taste. And let us know what you think of those books.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you're out there for the hunt, because that is part of the fun. Just throwing money down and buying books is one way of doing it, but another way is, going through a dollar bin and then miraculously the book that you've been looking for the last 3 months is there. That you can't beat that feeling. It's a satisfaction.
Yeah. Take us home with your final piece of viewer mail.
My last piece of viewer mail is from Early Bird Comics. I have a double comic and double cover, Saga number 2, second print. I sent it into CGC to get it noted. They failed the first time to see it, so I informed them and sent it back. It's a 9.6 and states manufactured with complete second copy, bound at centerfold. First copy is a 9.0 and the second copy a 9.6.
Oh, it's not a cover. It's a double comic.
Wow. Wow. I have never seen a double comic. That's pretty cool. I will say, if you have something like that, some kind of manufacturer issue that you want CGC to note, put a note. You fill out paperwork that you include with your book. Make a note on that paperwork that says, what it is. In this case, this is a double comic. I also stick a sticky note to the outside of the bag and board that you're putting the comic in that says this book is a double comic, because sometimes they will miss things. They're human. I mean, like everyone else. This way you can get a better chance of them noting it and getting it graded. I would love to see the grader's notes. The label on this. Does it say double comic, or how do they actually indicate it?
It states manufactured with complete second copy, bound at centerfold.
Okay, it's a lot of words for double comic, but that's cool. I mean, you can imagine the situation that had to happen for that to actually get those 2 books to get stapled together. It seems to be pretty rare in the long shot.
Strong staples. Yeah, this is where you idiot-proof your submissions. I always idiot-proof my submissions, not saying that the graders are idiots. But I always idiot-proof my submissions. If it's when I was submitting, I'm not submitting anymore. If it's a 35-cent variant, I would, pick that in the drop down or add it the notes. But I would also take a yellow Sharpie highlighter and I would highlight that on the invoice so no one misses it. If there was something unique about it, I would write it on a Post-it note and put that big yellow Post-it note right on top of the invoice. I would always idiot-proof my submissions. Didn't stop them from popping staples or anything like that, but what are you going to do? Yeah. Oh, Richard, when I complain like this, I feel like Grandpa Simpson shaking my fist at a cloud like some sort of old fart. It's the old fart rule. Yeah. Yeah, 1985. Let's get into our TARDISes and head back to 1985 for the old fart rule. Richard, you picked it. I love it.
Yeah, I picked this week The Fish Police #1 from Fish Wrap. Let's say that fast. Fish Wrap Productions, 1985. This is one of those books that, as I was growing up, 1985, I was just out of high school and was heavy into comic books. I saw this book all the time on the shelf. And it was one of those oddities that I always was interested in reading, but never really got to. But it was prevalent throughout my early comic book collecting days. This book was as art and story by Steve Moncuse. It's about crimes committed by fish and octopi, and it has a protagonist named Inspector Gill. He has a love interest called Angel, and there's a bunch of mafia type of crimes that happen around him. There's this drug called hairballs that's also prevalent. There's actually a limited series called Hairballs that came out later. But this book had a lot of cover. I am just surprised how much how long this book stayed around. So the Fish Police started in 1985. It was self-published and in black and white for the first 11 issues. After 11 issues in 1987, Comico picked it up. Comico did started off by doing a reprint of the first 4 books, and then they did the color reprints of the additional books. After Comico did their run, Apple Press did a run from issue number 18 through issue number 26. And if that's not enough, Marvel picked up the book, reprinted it for 6 issues in color. So there is a Marvel version of this as well. And then, not to be outdone, the Simpsons were really popular in 1992. People were trying to come up with some competitors. Hanna-Barbera, of all people, because this book is skews a little bit to the adult audience. So it's surprising that Hanna-Barbera picked this up. And they did a animated version of this that they recorded 6 issues, but only 3 episodes were actually aired in the United States. It just did not make it. Interesting. I mean, all this history for this book that, when I could still picture it on the newsstands back in the early 80s, books that I would just have a hard time picturing it having this kind of staying power. Right now, raws go for about $8 or $5 on eBay. 9/8 though can go from anywhere from $100 to $200. There's actually a first and second print of this, so you want to keep an eye on that. First print's more valuable. I never pictured this book as being that popular. Do you remember this book, John?
Oh yeah. First of all, I'm resisting singing "The Fish Police, they come to me."
Wrong song.
Oh, is that time? Okay. Yeah. Again, one of the books that had a hardcore following when I was managing a shop, and then we'd have to order, our copies of Fish Police for the 3 people that wanted Fish Police. I also remember, of all people, don't ask me why I remember this stuff, Richard. I don't know why I remember it. Harlan Ellison was a big proponent of this book for some reason. He would always write essays for Fish Police or about Fish Police, or give them a pull quote to use. So it had its fans. I also know the Marvel reprint series, issues 1 through 6 from 1992-93, were also on the newsstands. So there are newsstand variants of Marvel's Fish Police. I cannot imagine the print run or surviving number of those copies. So there's another one to look for if you really love obscurities. Go find the Marvel newsstand versions of Fish Police. I remember the TV show. Wasn't it John Ritter?
John Ritter played the voice of Inspector Gill. Ed Asner did one of the voices. I'm trying to remember who else was in there. A lot of famous names that were a part of the voices for the animated version.
That was during that early Simpsons animation gold rush,
right?
When everybody wanted a Simpsons type animated property on their network. Wow, why do I remember John Ritter?
Yeah, Jonathan Winters, Tim Curry, Robert Guillaume, Buddy Hackett.
Oh wow!
So a lot of people were doing the voice for this. Again, this I never pictured it. I never saw the animated series when it was on. But wow,
lose. It's police and they're fish. Come on.
I'm happy. I'm happy for it. I love variety. Let's not only focus on the superheroes. Let's get some other stories in there.
Yeah, and God bless, of all people, Marvel Comics taking it on and trying to get an audience for it. So not something I imagine would get through the gates of Disney these days, but I'd love to be surprised. Oh, hey, more surprises in our underrated books of the week. Richard, you don't even have a book as your underrated book.
I don't. I Superman, again, enjoyed the movie. Thought it was great. So I have Superman on the mind. I have always wondered about this thing. My pick is Superman #1. This is a pure silver foil edition from back in 2018. It was printed
by literal foil cover.
Yes, it is literally foil. The whole comic is foil. It's printed by the New Zealand Mint. There is 35 grams of silver in the actual comic of it, and on top of that silver is a cover of Superman #1, and there's a back to it as well. It's just bizarre. I've only seen 9.9s and 10s of this, and so and if you look at the census, that brings me another point. I went to look at the census numbers. CGC seems to have changed. Now they have this population report as opposed to the census.
That's a response to PSA announcing that's how PSA is going to do it.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit different format, but the same thing. There's 65 10s, 65 10s. There are 58 9.9s and 19 9.8s. That skews way hard to these higher grades, which makes me think, these things went from the New Zealand Mint to CGC.
Yeah, I think they came slabbed.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are examples of raw ones out there too.
Oh, okay.
It's bizarre. It's got a custom label. The label that they use with this is a DC label, which CGC didn't introduce in general until just recently. And 9.9s for these things. And it's not really a comic. I have had a hard time getting any solid information about this. I do not believe it is, and please, if you have counter information of this, let me know, that there is actually a comic here. It is, from what I can tell, it is silver foil, 9.999% pure silver foil with a sticker on the front for the front cover and one on the back for the back cover. And that's what you get here. So it's, from what I can tell, it's not a comic. 9.99s are going for around $400 though. There's a 10 on eBay right now that they're asking $10,000 for.
You can ask all day.
You can ask all day. You're right. 35 grams of silver is what this book takes. 35 grams. I looked it up. Is about $43 cash at this point. Now, it's a collectible. I will say that it is a collectible. I'm just saying, it may not be it's comic related, but may not be a comic book. And it depends on what you're looking for. And the big question for me is, who is this for? Is this for the comic book collectors? Is this for, there's a whole audience of people who collect silver and gold related items, specifically coins and things along those lines. Is it for that audience? It's a tough call. Me personally, I don't see it as a part of my collecting universe. But, if it's yours, let us know. And if you've got a copy, I would love to know more about this.
It just seems like one of those things that would be from the Franklin Mint and advertised in the back of Parade magazine with a Sunday supplement that Nana would display next to her memorial JFK plate.
Right, exactly. They're breaking the molds after the run. Yeah,
exactly. Well, first of all, if it's just a cover, which I think you're right, I think it's just the cover, it should be an NG.
Right.
Not a 9.9. It is an NG, no grade. because it's just the cover. It's not a comic book. Oh, wait. Are we asking for consistency and integrity from this company? My bad, everyone.
Notice there's no page quality on the label.
Like silver. Like Phantom Lady 17, pink pages. Yeah. I'm going to just move on because, yeah. Do we need another anti-CGC rant? I don't think
That's
so.
true. I know. We're kind of beating that horse.
Right. Delicious glue. Hey, Richard. I'm trolling Richard, everybody. It is Astonishing Tales #1. 3 guesses why I'm picking this book, because I want to bring it home. Richard is the biggest Doctor Doom fan there is. However, there are 2 series he absolutely refuses to collect or buy that feature Doctor Doom as the main character, for gosh sakes. Those would be Supervillain Team Up and Astonishing Tales. This is the first time Doctor Doom started a regular ongoing solo feature, sharing the book with Mr. Not Tarzan, Jungle Boogie Kazar, a significant elevation of Doom from arch-villain to complex anti-hero. This is where it starts. Richard does not care. He will not buy this. Stop trying to convince him.
Yeah, yeah. John is absolutely right. Those 2 books for some reason just don't tickle my fancy, and I've never collected them, but I don't mind reading them.
The Doctor Doom story features art by the legendary Wally Wood, Richard, marking this a key entry in his very limited Marvel output. Also lends the story a moody, dramatic flair. But there's more. Wait, the Kazar half of this book is drawn by Jack King Kirby.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
There is. And I have a theory about this book. This is like right near the end of Kirby's time at Marvel, his initial time at Marvel, before he goes to DC to do the New Gods. And this features Kraven trying to kidnap Zabu. I have a feeling that Jack refused to work the normal Stan Lee plot Marvel method, where Stan would just say, oh, have Kazar fight someone and hand me the book when you're done. I believe this reads and plots like a Stan Lee gave him a full page-by-page plot, if not a script.
Oh,
I cannot see Jack introducing Kraven the Hunter, a Ditko character, into Kazar's world. But who knows? If anybody out there, John Morrow and the Kirby Collector, are you out there? Do you know? Astonishing Tales was launched in this split book format, which is a long-time strategy that Marvel used to spotlight 2 characters in one title that they did not think could support on their own. They were wrong and right. By that I mean, by issue 10, Doctor Doom hit the bricks and it became a Kazar title completely. Now, here is the kicker.
How did Kazar win out over Doom?
Sold better. As you go through, you'll see Kazar takes over the cover bit by bit, more and more. I also think creatively, the Kazar feature was given a little more attention. You went from Jack Kirby to Barry Windsor Smith, who was at his Conan the Barbarian prime at the time. So you had great art happening, whereas Dr. Doom goes from Wally Wood to Larry Lieber, then Gene Colan. And not really a consistent, and the Kazar story is consistent. It continues, it's serialized, there's subplots. The Doom story is like, oh, here I am in Latveria again. Oh, look, a peasant. It's the same kind of thing over and over again with no continuing subplots or supporting cast. So it doesn't surprise me. The quality wasn't there. Now, high grade raw copies. Here's the kicker. You can find high grade for no more than $30, guys. This is a very, very affordable book for a book that is, let's see, 55 years old. Okay? Which is crazy if you think about it. But that's what 2025 minus 1970 is. I know because I just did the math. Let's all give Richard tons of peer pressure to start collecting these books.
I don't know. Maybe next time I see it in a bin, I'll pick up a copy of it. I'm in a situation now where I'm trying to reduce the size of my collection so that I've taken over the basement, and my wife does not like that. So
how convenient.
mm.
All right. I will see all of you at Comic-Con starting Wednesday night. If you see me running around, say hi, please. Stop and say hi. Would love to see you then. Members, no live stream this Thursday from the formal way, but I will be live streaming for you members from the Comic-Con floor throughout the weekend. So be on the lookout for that. If you're not a member, you might want to sign up so you get those streams as well. And then we will see everybody here on Monday.
All right, everybody, stay safe.